Well, folks, we're just a few short days away from New Year's Eve, and I'm betting a lot of you musicians out there have a New Year's Eve gig booked. But a real question might be is, did you prepare everything for this gig the right way? Let's talk about it. Welcome back to Danny Robertson Music, where we're helping you be the performer that you're meant to be. I'm Danny Robertson. Thanks for joining me again, as always. We are really close to New Year's Eve right now. New Year's Eve gigs have a few specific needs that require additional attention from you as the musician. It involves both preparing your show in a different way than you might on a normal day, and it involves preparing your client, your venue, your fans for what to expect out of you on New Year's Eve. So today we're going to talk about 5 quick things that every musician should know about performing on New Year's Eve. And just as a reminder, the sale happening at DannyRobertsonMusic.com right now is ending on December 31st. So if you want to get a course of ours for public speaking or making medleys and mashups or learning how to get your first gigs, check us out at DannyRobertsonMusic.com. Every single course is available for 75% off using the promo code PERFORMER until New Year's Eve. So get it now while you can. Let's get started on these important New Year's Eve tips. First things first, New Year's Eve is a premium day. If you are playing New Year's Eve and it's at a bar or a club or even a private event, you should be charging a premium price. It's a special day. It requires additional work from you, and it should be paid at a premium. Whether you choose to make that double your price, triple your price, that is up to you. But most venue owners are expecting that from a live band. Just remember that New Year's Eve is not a normal gig. You might have longer hours. You might have additional work to do to get the show ready for that night. And there might be higher expectations of you for that night to keep the crowd engaged and involved and everything like that. So you should be charging a premium price. If you're charging your normal rate on New Year's Eve, you're basically doing extra work for free. The second thing is that your set list for New Year's Eve is going to be different than your normal show. You can't plan your songs the same way. You have to learn to build it for a specific moment. That key moment is obviously midnight. When you are building out your set list for your New Year's Eve gig, you have to plan to let the show grow and grow and grow and grow until the key moment of the night, midnight. I would encourage you to save your big sing-alongs and your anthems and your big medleys for that time frame between 11:30 p.m. and midnight, because that is going to be when your crowd is going to be most engaged on New Year's Eve. Believe me when I say you don't want to blow all of your big songs early on in the night, because if you do that, your crowd will be less interested at that key moment, and you really want them to be heavily engaged in that time frame. Midnight is the key. Now, another thing I do want to say with this is that every moment after midnight is going to be an uphill battle for you to keep your audience engaged for the rest of the night. A lot of people that go out on New Year's Eve are not used to going out and partying very late. So midnight is kind of almost bedtime for a lot of people. So what you need to do is keep your audience as engaged as possible from midnight on. Think of midnight as kind of like the last chorus of a good song. Everything before it is kind of leading up to that big ending, and midnight itself is kind of the point where you're kind of doing the biggest part of the night, and then the song is going to end very shortly after that. And unfortunately, that's just kind of the way it goes a lot of the time for New Year's Eve. But if you plan ahead and try to think through it just a little bit more, you might be able to keep your audience engaged for a longer period after we cross over into the new year. So as you start planning out your set list for New Year's Eve, I do encourage you to think long and hard about every song choice that you put into your show for that night. Taking out any of what you'd call the deep cuts or the slow songs, the things that are not going to bring additional energy into your show. New Year's Eve tends to be a night where you can really gain a lot of new fans because there are going to be people there that don't go out very often and they don't stay out late for live bands a whole bunch of the time. And they've probably never seen you before. So you may want to lean more into playing universally recognizable songs, danceable, upbeat, fun, exciting types of music, and even think about the songs that people can sing maybe even after they've had a couple of drinks in them. The things to avoid in this case, and you don't have to avoid it completely, but things like slower songs you might want to minimize. And essentially anything that just kills momentum, because what you're trying to do is build a long build to grow the show larger and larger until that midnight point. And anything that slows that down is going to be a problem for you that night. It's about uniting the room and bringing everybody together for a collective moment of greatness. You're going to have this amazing experience together if you bring the crowd in with you. The right song choices will help you do that. This next part is the one that a lot of people don't consider when they're playing live music on New Year's Eve. There is going to be a moment when you have that countdown to midnight. And really, you need to consider whether or not you're the one taking control of that countdown. Some things that can happen are the venue owner takes ownership of it. Maybe you're working on a stage where you're kind of alternating with a DJ. A DJ tries to take control of that. Or even the worst possible scenario is everybody lets it go to the television and you watch it on the national news that you're watching about the New Year's Eve countdown in maybe like New York City or something like that. So here's my tip. If you don't control the countdown, somebody else will. So I would suggest asking ahead of time, talking with the venue, who is going to be doing the countdown? Do you want us to do it? Because if that's the case, you get to do it the best way possible, which is keeping everybody engaged in your performance while that's happening. And if it is you, own the crap out of that countdown because it is your show. Make it the coolest, most awesome countdown that anybody has ever seen for New Year's Eve. They will remember your show because of the way you do your countdown on New Year's Eve. And once the countdown's over, make sure you have one of the best songs of the night ready to go right after it. If you control midnight, you get to control the memory of what everybody experiences for New Year's Eve that year. It's a big responsibility, and yes, you can do it. The last point I want to make is a very important one to consider as you go to play your New Year's Eve gig. You are there because you're hired to be there. You are the energy of the night. You are the life of the party. But that does not necessarily mean that you are not there to be professional. A lot of the time when you play New Year's Eve, it can be at a bar, it can be at a private event, but there can also be very important people at that show. Decision makers for companies, people who have seen you for the first time and would love to book you for a wedding or a birthday party or a private event of some sort. You have potential people that could be next gigs for you. New Year's Eve can be a prime night for new bookings and referrals and new fans to bring you new business for next year. Okay, so do it right. Be professional, be positive, be fun, be exciting, be all the things that make you the amazing entertainer that you are. New Year's Eve isn't just a gig. It can be an audition for all of your shows next year. So you want to take it as seriously as possible. Put your best foot forward because there might be new gigging opportunities, new money available to you because of how well you perform that night. So when it comes down to it, here are the key things that you need to know about New Year's Eve. You want to play smart. You want to plan it out so that it is a great show and you're doing it with all the key moments happening at the exact right time. You want to really consider that before you step on stage. You also want to make sure you get paid properly. You are worth a lot on a premium night like New Year's Eve, so book yourself accordingly, okay? And finally, give your audience the best dang show that you have ever given. Like, it is the night to put on your best possible performance. New Year's Eve is one of the biggest opportunities to get you in front of new people and new potential opportunities. Give your audience a night to remember. And in case you need help doing that, definitely check us out at Danny Robertson Music, where, as I've said, we're currently running a sale through New Year's Eve that is giving you 75% off of any course that you want to buy. And there's some doozies in there. I personally love the public speaking for entertainers course. It teaches you a lot of things about how to approach talking with an audience. And it's short, but it's full of great little tips and ideas for you to consider if you're talking on stage. Okay. So check that one and all the other courses out. Have a lot of fun with it. Take advantage of it while these courses are 75% off. Okay. Other than that, best of luck on your New Year's Eve gig. I hope it is one of the best performances you ever do. I hope you have an amazing time. And I do hope that it brings you a lot of new business for next year. So have a great time, and I'll see you next year. Take care.